Nurgle is the Lord of Decay, who presides over physical corruption and morbidity. He is the father of plagues, and putrefacients are attracted to him like flies to a rotted corpse. For his amusement, he devises foul contagions that he inflicts upon the mortal world, the result of which greatly fascinate him. Nurgle's gaze thus drawn to those mortals bloated with sickness, and he generously favors those who spread disease in his name. To Nurgle, every rattled corpse is a welcoming nursery for wriggling maggots and cloying plague spores. Every stagnant lake and rotting forest is a paradise in which parasitic larvae and bountiful poxes can flourish. These are the gifts that Nurgle lavishes upon the mortal realms, and if there is malice behind his generosity, it is directed only to those ingrates who try to decline his offerings.
Hello, all you wonderful listeners. It is I, Nobbler G, and welcome to Nurgle November, a lore study of all things Nurgle in the Age of Sigmar setting. This series will take us through what we know and do not yet know of Nurgle and all of his followers leading up to their awesome release this December. So please, sit back and enjoy this look into the Plague Father's world of corruption in the series brought to you by Grimdark Live, called Nurgle November.
The Grand Cultivator, Horticulous Slimux. With a thump of his tumor-hardened foot upon the shell of his faithful mount, a snail-like creature known affectionately as Mulch, Horticulous Slimux rides into battle. It is not the quickest of charges, but what it lacks in speed it makes up for with sheer toxicity. Horticulous Slimux has been Nurgle's head gardener since before time. A herald of special powers, Horticulous has an eye for tending the diseased plant growths so beloved by Nurgle. None knows better when to deadhead a skull rose, divide up a witchpike shrub, or graft new tendrils together to make an entirely new flora. Indeed, if he had his way, Horticulous would spend all of his time tending and pruning the endless vegetation fields around Nurgle's great manse. The Lord of Plagues, however, has other ideas. Nurgle moves in cycles, and after seeing his Grand Cultivator at work in his garden for a time, the God of Decay senses the need for a change, and sends Horticulous into real space to plant his seeds. There is none better at spreading the glorious growths of the garden. Horticulous is a pragmatic and humorless being, and goes about his task, whatever it may be, with the same no-nonsense approach. He finds the uncontaminated regions of the mortal realms extremely disturbing, and seeks to garnish them as quickly as possible with Nurgle's blessing, although he will grumble as he does so of his beauties back home, for he trusts no one to tend his prized plants in his absence. But no sooner has Horticulous set his grundle plow working than Nurgle grows restless again. He decides that now is not the time for planting, but instead the time for reaping, and so, hefting his rusty pair of pruning shears, Horticulous joins the plague legions for battle. Heads and limbs are simply snipped with the same precision and skill he shows when trimming down a bleeding marrow tree. As he goes about his duties, Horticulous conjures the tendrils and mutated fronds of Nurgle's garden and ushers them into reality, as if with only a thought. Within moments of sowing a seed, a boundless group erupts, creating a small manor of his master's garden. Such infested areas, populated by the likes of demonic feculent gnarlmaws, augment the diseased hordes of Nurgle and cause all others to weaken in the unnatural miasma. It is rare to see Horticulous alone, for he is almost always accompanied by bounding packs of beasts of Nurgle. The creatures frolic in the slimy and poisonous wake left behind by the Grand Cultivator's squelching mount, and will respond to the Herald's call with unmatched enthusiasm. Horticulous tolerates the beast's antics, but the same cannot be said for the Nurglings. When no great unclean ones are watching, Horticulous has been known to feed the imps to mulch. This foul diet only ensures that mulch's bite is extremely toxic. This is the Grand Cultivator, Horticulous Slimux.
Hello, and thank you for listening to this installment of Nurgle November. I hope you enjoyed this bit of fun as we head towards the new release for Nurgle for Age of Sigmar 3.0. So be on the lookout for more Nurgle Novembers to come very, very soon. But until then, stay gross, you gamer goons. See you next time. Bye.
Remember this, my little pimples. The grandfather loves you. Let me blow you a kiss.